Hello, thank you for joining us. In this video, we're going to focus on the summary report. This is the report that goes into the different heart-related biometrics, mental stress, skin age, and I want to make it perfectly clear that this information is very, very important because it helps you identify areas where you can set goals with your client or with the person that you scanned pertaining to their daily lifestyle and habits. The heart is pretty much connected to everything in the body, so we have to take care of our heart. So this report is very important, and let's get right into it. If you're not following us on social media, make sure you do so. There are our handles. And important, Viscera Link does not identify, diagnose, or treat any disease or medical condition. So basically what this is saying is that when you run a scan on somebody, it is not going to say, the report is not going to say, you have this disease or you have that disease. This is not diagnostic. What it does is it helps identify areas of focus, areas of priority using the extremely powerful and accurate transdermal optical imaging technology. So this is crucial because it has to do with our everyday wellness journey. And again, in this video, we will focus on the summary report, specifically heart rate variability, breathing rate, skin age, and mental stress index. Specifically, we're going to let you know what a normal average number is for each of these different categories. And we're also going to give you ideas on how to improve those numbers in case somebody has a score that's outside of the average. And we will also go into historical data. You can actually go into any of these measurements and look at their previous score. Because if somebody had a score on their mental stress index section that was a little too high, then you can touch it and it will show you what their score was in all of their previous scans. So then you can check and see if that high score was an outlier or if they've been regularly getting a higher than average score. If they have been getting a score that's higher than average regularly, then you know, okay, that's a pattern. I need to really focus on this when it comes to this person. So first, let's show you how to access this report. As soon as somebody completes a scan, this is the report that pops up by default. So it's literally that simple. This is the report that pops up by default. You will see the navigation bar up on the top, and summary is the one that we are going to focus on. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to focus on these different boxes. We're going from top to bottom, from left to right, and then top to bottom. The first one, biomarkers, we're really not going to spend a lot of time on this right here because the systems report is the one that goes into these biomarkers in detail. Right here, really all it tells you is how many biomarkers are in range and how many biomarkers are out of range. And to make sure that we're all on the same page, if you touch this box, it will give you an explanation of what biomarkers are. But again, in this specific report, that's literally all you can do, so we will not go into it in too much detail. However, we will give you a definition of what biomarkers are. Biomarkers are digital representations of actual components of the body, such as organs, glands, and systems. Biomarkers also include lifestyle and environmental factors that impact the body, such as sleep, emotions, and toxins. And again, the systems report goes into biomarkers. That one actually shows you biomarkers, and we go into more detail there. So for this report, let's focus on the heart-related biometrics, mental stress, and skin age. So first up on the list is resting heart rate. You see it right here. A normal resting heart rate is between 60 and 100 beats per minute if you are sitting or lying and you are calm and feeling well. A lower heart rate is also common for athletes. That's because their heart muscle is in good condition and does not need to work as hard. It is very important that you let your clients know that when they run their scan, they are in a state of rest, meaning they should not run a scan in the middle of a workout. They should not run a scan right after they're done working out. They should not run a scan right when they're done going up a flight of stairs and they're a little out of breath. That's not when you run a scan. You run a scan when you're in a state of rest. And then outside of that, it doesn't matter if it's in the morning, at night, in the middle of the day. The key thing is be in a state of rest. And then regarding the quote on the bottom, it is common for athletes to have a resting heart rate that's below 60. So if you have somebody that gets a resting heart rate that's in the 50s, for example, and they are a very active athlete, that's fine. That's okay. But if they are not an athlete and their resting heart rate is below 60, that's where you say, okay, let's set some goals so we can improve this number. So what are the goals that you would set with somebody to improve their resting heart rate? Well, let's go over a couple right now. Regular exercise strengthens the heart muscle, making it more efficient at pumping blood throughout the body. And it lowers blood pressure, reducing the strain on the heart. And it reduces cholesterol levels, which protects the arteries from plaque buildup. Another option for goals would be get enough sleep. It slows heart rate and decreases blood pressure, allowing your heart and blood vessels to repair and recover. And it also reduces stress hormones that can increase your heart rate and blood pressure when elevated. Another option, stress management. It activates your body's parasympathetic nervous system, which counters the fight or flight response. This activation slows your heart rate and lowers your blood pressure. Limit caffeine and alcohol. Caffeine can increase heart rate because it blocks adenosine receptors in the brain, leading to the release of adrenaline, which increases heart rate and blood pressure. The effect of caffeine on a person varies from person to person, so it's also important to keep that in mind. Now, drinking large amounts of alcohol all at once can slow your heart rate to very low levels. In other instances, it can raise your heart rate. Quit smoking. Nicotine acts as a stimulant, causing the heart to beat faster. This can lead to an elevated resting heart rate. Smoking causes inflammation in the body, which negatively impacts the body in general, including the heart. Reduce sodium intake. When sodium intake is high, the body retains more water, increasing blood volume. This increased blood volume puts pressure on the heart, causing it to work harder and pump faster. As a result, heart rate can increase. Conversely, extremely low sodium intake can also be harmful, as it can disrupt important bodily functions. The key is to not go overboard. And eat a heart-healthy diet. A heart-healthy diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and lean proteins helps to stabilize heart rate by reducing inflammation, improving blood vessel function, and providing essential nutrients. And I think this should go without saying, but I'll say it anyway. When it comes to exercise, which is one of the ways that you can improve your resting heart rate, always consider the person, always consider the individual and what it is that they can handle. You've probably heard it many times that certain people should always consult with their doctor first before starting any type of exercise program. So with that one specifically, make sure you consider the specific individual. And then you have heart rate variability. Okay, so this one is a little interesting because there are many different studies on heart rate variability, and they show, for example, these ranges that you see on the screen right here are taken from actual studies. One study said 20 to 70 milliseconds. This one said 19 to 75. This one said 60 to 100. So as you can see, there is not one clear-cut range. One thing that they all had in common is this: healthy athletes can exceed the average heart rate variability range. And then look at this quote down here from one of the studies. And actually, every single one of the studies said the same thing or something similar to this. Generally speaking, higher heart rate variability is a sign of better fitness. But the most important thing to know with HRV is that it is an incredibly personalized metric that differs greatly from one individual to the next. In other words, for somebody, a good HRV might be 21. For somebody else, it might be 120. So it is something that's very personal to the individual. And the key thing is to get it as high as possible, and that will look different from person to person. So then your question might be, how do I do this then? Because if I scan someone for the first time, I don't know if that number that they got for their HRV is good, if that's high for them, which is a good thing for HRV, or if it's on the lower end for them when it comes to their HRV. The good news is this: these three on the right, heart rate, breathing rate, and mental stress index, all have a very direct and powerful relationship with HRV. So if one of these three on the right is out of range, it is reasonable to conclude that because of their relationship with HRV, their HRV can also probably use some improvement. So that's what you can base it on. If any one of these three is out of range, then also set goals on what they can do to improve their HRV. So, with that in mind, what are some of the goals that you can set to improve your heart rate variability? Let's go through a couple. Regular exercise. Regular aerobic exercise leads to a greater autonomic regulation, allowing the heart and body to adapt more effectively to changing demands. This improved cardiovascular fitness enhances the body's ability to manage stress, resulting in a higher resting HRV. Prioritize sleep. Sleep improves HRV by increasing parasympathetic nervous system activity, which promotes a shift from the body's fight or flight sympathetic state to a rest and digest state focused on recovery. This leads to greater flexibility in heart rate, a key component of improved HRV. Stress management. Stress management improves HRV by reducing dominance of the sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight, and increasing the influence of the parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest. Chronic stress lowers HRV, while stress management techniques can raise it, indicating a healthier and more resilient body that is better equipped to handle stress. So now we move on to breathing rate, and this is measured in breaths per minute. So the average for an adult is right around 12 to 25 breaths per minute. Now, if somebody is out of range, here are some goals that you can set with that person. Regular exercise. There it is again, our best friend, exercise. Exercise improves the efficiency of your respiratory system. It strengthens your heart and your lungs. The stronger your lungs get, the better they are at taking in oxygen and storing it in your bloodstream. The more you exercise, the less likely you'll be to get winded during simple activities like going up the stairs. Drink plenty of water. Drinking water improves the body's ability to breathe by keeping the airways moist, thinning mucus, and enhancing oxygen delivery to the body. Deep breathing exercises. Instead of relying on chest and neck muscles, deep breathing exercises teach you to use your diaphragm, the primary muscle for breathing, more effectively. Deep breathing exercises also help by reducing oxygen demand. More efficient breathing decreases the body's overall oxygen demand, further contributing to a slower, more relaxed breathing rate. And then we move on to skin age. Transdermal optical imaging helps assess skin age by evaluating the health and efficiency of the skin's underlying blood circulation, which is a key factor in skin appearance and overall health. So when you run a scan on somebody, it's going to give a skin age score on the report. If it's within a couple years, 5 years or so of their actual age, then I would just move on. But every now and then, you're going to have somebody that has a skin age that's maybe 10 years older than their actual age, and their face is going to look like this because they're going to say, how is it possible that my skin age is showing as 10 years older than my actual age when I do things like I have a nighttime skincare routine with cleansing and moisturizing, facials, that's something I partake in, chemical peels, microdermabrasion. I do a lot of things to take care of my skin. So why would it show that it's 10 years older? And you know what you say to these people? You say, you know what? Good job. Keep it up. Keep doing what you're doing because it sounds like you're doing an excellent job with external skincare. But the bottom line is this, the skin is an organ. So yes, this person is doing a good job with the external skincare, but there is also internal skincare that has to do more with lifestyle, daily habits, and that type of thing. So that is where we're going to focus with this person. We'll encourage them to keep doing what they're doing with the external skincare, but let's see what you can do to improve your internal skincare through your daily habits and lifestyle. So goals you can set with this person would be things like limit sun exposure. Ultraviolet radiation is a major contributor to premature aging, wrinkles, and skin cancer. Diet and nutrition. A balanced diet rich in vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants can promote healthy skin. Conversely, excessive sugar can damage collagen and elastin. Quit smoking and limit alcohol. Smoking and excessive alcohol can contribute to premature aging and skin damage. Prioritize quality sleep. During sleep, your body produces collagen, a protein essential for skin elasticity and firmness. Sleep also allows your skin to repair damage from daily exposure to the sun and pollution. This includes the regeneration of new skin cells. Lack of sleep can elevate cortisol levels, a stress hormone that can trigger inflammation. And of course, prioritize hydration. It is crucial for skin health as it helps maintain skin elasticity, plumpness, and a smooth appearance by keeping skin cells hydrated and supporting the skin's protective barrier. Adequate hydration promotes better blood circulation, delivering essential nutrients and oxygen to skin cells. And the skin's outer layer, the epidermis, acts as a barrier to protect the body from external elements. Hydration is essential for maintaining the integrity of this barrier. So those are goals you can set with somebody if their skin age is, 10 years older than their actual age. Help them realize that the skin is an organ and it is affected by these things as well. And then we get to mental stress. The mental stress index is very simple to read because you will get a score between 1 and 5. If you get a 1 or a 2, it means either that you are dealing with low stress or whatever stress you are dealing with, your body is doing a good job handling it. If you get a 3, it means average or moderate stress. So that's average. It's not good or bad. It's just normal. Now, if you get a 4 or a 5, that means that either you're dealing with a lot of stress or whatever stress you are dealing with, your body is not doing as good of a job dealing with it. And that's where you set goals with this person. So how do you improve this number if they get a 4 or a 5? Which is pretty simple. Practice relaxation techniques. Engage in activities like meditation, yoga, deep breathing exercises, or progressive muscle relaxation. Spend time in nature or listen to calming music. Prioritize self-care. Get enough sleep. Eat a healthy diet. Exercise regularly. Set boundaries. Say no when necessary. And take breaks when needed. Engage in activities you enjoy. Schedule time for hobbies such as running, hiking, reading, watching movies, spending time with pets, arts and crafts, and more. And finally, make time to learn that new hobby you've been looking at for a long time. Practice mindfulness. Pay attention to the present moment and focus on your thoughts and feelings without judgment. And one of the cool things about Viscera Link and a Viscera Link scan is that you're working with top of the line technology. So what that means is this: when you run a scan on somebody, the more you scan them, the more you can help them. The more you scan them, the more you learn about them. Because when you scan somebody for the very first time, let's say they get a mental stress index of 4 or 5, you don't know that first time if you just got them on a bad day or a bad week because it's the very first time you've scanned them. But then when you scan them again later on and they get a 4 or a 5, it is helpful because now you can look at the historical data and realize that they have been getting a 4 or a 5 consistently every time you scan them. So you identify that as a pattern. You identify that as an area of focus, an area of priority. And when you look at the studies on transdermal optical imaging and how accurate it is, you realize that these scores you're looking at on the report, they're not gimmicks. It's not a game. These are legit. So if they get a 4 or a 5, set goals with them on things they can do to improve that number. And the historical data feature of the report is crucial when it comes to helping you help them. So you can look at the past. So the more you scan them, the more you learn about them. Historical data in the report is available for heart rate variability, breathing rate, skin age, and mental stress index. Now, to access the historical data, all you do is you touch the box, and then it will take you to a place where you can view their historical data for that specific measurement. The layout of the historical data is literally exactly the same for all of these, meaning if you touch any of these, the layout will look exactly the same. So we're not going to go into literally every single one of them because the layout is the same. All that changes is the type of number that it's measuring. So we'll start with mental stress index since we're already here. And just remember that for this one, 4 or 5 are the ones that jump out. That's where we set goals with people. So when you touch the box, it'll take you to the historical data screen for mental stress index. And up on the top, it's going to show you what their most recent score was. So in this case, it was a 3 for this person. And then right below that, you're going to see that you can either view the historical data in the yearly option or the monthly option. Yearly allows you to view the entire year at a glance. For each month, you will see the person's average score for all scans they ran that month. And then monthly allows you to view 1 month at a time, and you can see the individual mental stress index measurement for every scan that person ran that month. So when you look at the historical data, what you're looking for patterns. Has their average mental stress index been consistently in range from month to month? Look for improvement. Has their average mental stress index been improving from month to month? So for this person right here, you can see the entire year at a glance, 2025. And you can see that for the most part, they hung around the 3, but there were a few times where they were already going into the 4 section. It is trending upwards towards the end of the year. So since we're identifying this pattern, we're able to set goals with this person on things that they can do to better manage their stress management techniques. This is the beauty of this scan. The more you scan somebody, you're able to identify where things are trending for this person, and you can jump in and take action. Down on the bottom, it'll give you additional metrics like their yearly average, their lowest score for the year, and their highest score for the year. So in this case, it was a 4. And as we saw, that's kind of where it's been trending for this person. So we'll set goals with them. Then below that, you have this little blue text that says more info about mental stress index. So if you touch it, it will bring up an explanation of the scores. If you touch where it says learn more on the bottom, it'll actually take you to a website on our website where it has a blog that explains more about mental stress index. So still on this report, and again, everything I've shown you so far has been in the yearly view. So we're still there. If you scroll down, it's going to show you their average score for every month that year. You can even select a month to view their mental stress index for every scan they ran that month. And everything I showed you right here, by the way, again, it applies to everything else. Remember, resting heart rate, it should be between 60 to 100. It's going to show you a very similar layout like this. It will show you what their resting heart rate was, their average for each month. And now we're going to switch to the monthly option. So we're still in the same historical data report under mental stress index. Just up on the top, we're switching to monthly. Again, monthly is helpful for people you scan more than once a month. You can look for patterns for improvement. And just like the yearly, you will also have an option to choose the year in case you've been scanning this person for more than 1 year. You will be able to choose the year you want to look at. But for the monthly, below that, you will be able to choose the specific month for that year. Now, in this case, you see it starts in January, it goes through June. This is a little slidable menu. So you just touch it and slide it over and you'll see the other months. In this case, we selected December. So we're looking at 2025 December, and it will show you that I scanned this person twice in December, and I can see their score right here for mental stress index. And right below that, you can see additional metrics. You can see their monthly average was a 4, which is on the higher end. You can see that their lowest was a 3, but even that 3 was on the higher end of 3, kind of going into 4 already, and their lowest was in the 4 area, in the 4 zone. So then it's something where you identify that okay, in previous months, maybe you had scores that were 1, 2, or 3 consistently, but this month it appears that your mental stress is a little higher than usual. So let's set some goals when it comes to stress management techniques so that way we can improve that number for you. So that is one of the benefits of the monthly view is if you're scanning somebody more than once per month, you're able to see the trend. If you scroll down, then you will see this down here. It will show you the score that they had. So it's basically this little chart right here, except it presents it as text. So you can view it this way if you prefer. And the cool thing is everything I just showed you with the yearly view and the monthly view for mental stress index, you get the exact same layout for everything else that's in the summary report. The heart rate variability, breathing rate, skin age, and mental stress index. This report is very powerful because it really, really focuses on changing your lifestyle, taking care of your body even better than you ever have before. So you are no longer just recommending products to people. You are here giving them valuable, accurate data that they can use to change their life for the better. And that's what this is all about. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. As you know, we're more than happy to help you with whatever you need. And keep watching the training videos because we will go into the other reports as well. Take care.